up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele. And welcome to Spitballin. Spitballin.
What's up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani, and this is the sniffly Reggie Steele.
And welcome to Spitballin. Yeah, I'm a little nasally today. I got a little congestion.
Reggie's been running around in the elements with children, which is, a bunch of petri dishes.
Yeah, really. But I stay away from them. I keep away from them like the plague. I'm like, yo, everybody.
Yeah, dude. Don't hug my leg. Get out of here.
Yeah. All right. I'm like, can you not talk directly at me? Right? Like, can you talk to the side, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need to get up in my face to tell me you like the pizza.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, how about we form a line 6 feet between everybody? I'm back to pandemic standards.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like 6 feet.
There should always be 6 feet with children.
Yo, straight up, it should be 6 feet with everybody all the time.
True.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you right now, going to the grocery store and standing those 6 feet away from people in lines, I was like,
nice.
Yes, I love that shit. I was like, this is amazing. I'm like, we should, if we're gonna keep anything, let's keep this part, right? Keep it regulated. Not everybody in all at once. It's not a mad rush to the grocery store. Stand your ass in line 6 feet away from me, right?
Man, when I was in Sacramento, I bought these joggers here. See these nice little joggers here?
Okay.
The line was hella long, right? And I'm just waiting in line, and somebody, the line's barely moving. It moves a little, and the person behind me, getting right up on my shoulder. I'm like, oh, yo, we still gotta wait 20 minutes.
Oh,
what are you doing?
Yo, nothing worse. Worst thing ever. Close talkers.
Or just close sitting in line shoppers.
Close shoppers, close talkers, close standers, whatever. There's a guy I work with, when he talks to you, he likes to get right here.
He's like, hell no.
He's like, hey man, what you doing? He's like, how was your weekend, bro? I'm like,
get out of here, bro. Get out of my face.
I'm like, it was cool, man. I'm like, I can hear. Right?
Yo, man. If I can smell your breakfast, it's a problem.
Yeah, man. I don't need to be right here when we talk, man. I don't feel comfortable with this. This is outside. This is invading my personal space, right?
Yeah, no, man. That shit should have not existed, years ago. But now after COVID, it definitely should not exist.
I agree. I'm like, yo, let's bring something back, right? Like after 9/11, we got the security checkpoints, and you couldn't go to the gate anymore, right? Remember, prior to 9/11, if you drop somebody off at the airport, you could just park your car and walk them to the gate and say goodbye.
Yeah, no, man, it was a real nice, relaxing goodbye or hello. It was exciting. I remember my brother coming off the planes, and when I was a kid, like, oh, he's coming right off. You can see him.
And you're standing right there. And if you had a gift or you had flowers or it was a thing to be seen. Now you got to wait till, that's one of the things that we kept from 9/11. I'm like, I get it. It kind of sucks, right? But it's here.
The shoes thing. Why we still got that shoes thing?
Yeah, the shoe. That's another thing. That was one guy.
I know, man. And now for 20 some years.
Yeah, one guy had a fake ass shoe bomb. It was equivalent to a firecracker, right? It wasn't even what they call them, M16s or M whatever, the M1s, which is like a smidget of dynamite. It wasn't even enough to blow up the seat cushion, but whatever. They were like, all right, take your shoes off forever unless you get pre-check, which I am. Pre-check.
Yeah, we know. You give them all your info. You're like, this is me, up and up, Reggie Steele. Dude, here is everything is in order and proper. You may search me up and down, and
no, there's no searching. All you do is you go to a place, you pay $85, you get 5 years, and it's not like they don't have this information anyway. Everyone who has a phone, everyone who's like, I don't want them to know where I am, And then they take out their
Right.
phone and go bing, 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 bing. I'm like, dude, they know exactly where you are. They're listening
Right.
to your conversation. They have access to all your information. It's not even like your social security number is important anymore. People don't even care. It's like, yo, that's public knowledge now at this point. So yeah, man. So you've been watching March Madness, watching
I've
these
been, and
college.
it's been exciting, good games. And man, NBA can take some tips from college. Okay. First off, 4 timeouts total for the whole game. Love that. And you only can get, you can only bring one over to the second half or whatever the rule is. That's great. They don't call fouls as much as they do in the NBA, which is nice. It's like, wow, a guy drove, didn't make the basket, and no whistle was blown. What happened? What is going on? Like, dude, and the game's 2 halves. It's so much faster. It's so much better in that perspective. Now, of course, the athleticism, of course, isn't as good as NBA standards. So there's a lot of dumb mistakes, like, I was standing out of bounds when I caught it, or I traveled, which is an obvious thing, or just, not even expecting the pass a lot of times, because not everybody's at the same level.
Right. Your team, Cleveland State, was
not
eliminated.
My team, my alum, baby. My graduated from. So here's the deal. We're not a bigum school like St. Mary's over there. We're not we're not like that. So we
Wait, a bigum
have
school?
to win.
St. Mary's a mid-major, bro. We're not.
Yo, you guys could be in the friggin' tourney like every other year though.
That's true. And we were
now. Here's the thing with Cleveland State and a lot of these smaller colleges, because we're in the Horizon League, you have to win the league to get in. That's the only way usually. Not a lot of bigger teams, but small teams like Cleveland State, the only way they're getting in is if they win that championship.
Dude, St. Mary's has undergrad like 3,000 students.
4, it doesn't matter. You guys didn't win your championship.
We didn't win
Gonzaga won it, but you're still in the tournament.
Yeah, because we were a nationally ranked team. They were
right.
They were
Cleveland
ranked.
State's too small for that.
No, it's not too small. You got to recruit the players, bro. I'm telling you.
No way you're gonna get the players coming down to goddamn Cleveland State.
Dude, who wants to go to St. Mary's? Did you see St. Mary's team? I mean, that Coach Bennett. Look, props before I go in, because I'm about to go in.
You don't like St. Mary's? That's your alma mater.
Hey, man, look, I'm gonna tell you right now. Personally, it's 2 sides of me, right? As a former athlete and an alumni of the school, right, who participated on that level of basketball, Division I, West Coast Conference, the whole thing. I'm happy and I'm proud of the school for making it into the tournament and for into the tourney and being nationally ranked. I think that's huge. I think that's really big. That's big time. But when I look at the makeup of the teams, the team does not represent the Bay Area. As far as diversity is concerned, the team lacks athleticism. I mean, like, look, man.
Too many Australians on the team
I mean, I looked at the roster, bro. Everyone's from Whitesville, Washington.
What do you think? There's gonna be some Moraga, Californians, local,
dude, there's
Bay
a kid.
Area?
Now, there's a freshman on the team who's from Lafayette, which is right down the street. Point I'm making is that we're in the Bay Area, dude. We're in the Bay. I know that Moraga is very affluent and it is very homogenized, but the teams over the years have progressively gotten less and less diverse. I'm trying not to be, I want to be politically correct here and be not, I don't want to go too hard, but hey, man, me and a number of other players, a lot of us, you can't miss it, dude. It's like, it's impossible. Look, even Princeton, which has traditionally been a team that looks like it's out of the 1950s, even Princeton got some brothers on the team that are ballers.
So instead of Oscar's too white, it's St. Mary's too white.
Oh my God. It's so, dude. And look, the guys are playing well for the most part, but then there's just a point. There's a point, and I'm just going to say it. There's a point where what you're bringing to the table is not enough. You need, and look, okay, I'll take it a step further. It ain't even got to be black dudes. It could be whoever else, but bring in some damn athleticism. Bring in some ballers.
Now, let me ask you this.
Dude, hold up. Let me just say this. There was one point in the game yesterday where a guy got a breakaway. He got a steal and a breakaway. And watching him, like, watching him approach the basket, it looked like he was going to trip over his own feet. And I was like, is this guy actually running right now? What is happening? And the dude from the other team, when I say he caught him with ease and jumped in the air before this guy even left the floor, he was in the air waiting for this guy's shot. And then the guy kind of does a thing. And I was like, we can't compete. We cannot compete at a certain, there's a point where, now look, at St. Mary's, maybe they're completely happy with just like, hey, we did well in the WCC, and now we're in the tournament. We're not going to ever get to the Sweet 16. We're not going to get to the Elite Eight. We're not going to go to the Final Four or win it. But yay, we made the tournament. All right. And then they go home. Now look, I know for Cleveland State, you guys would be extremely happy about that. Be like,
we've only made it.
We made it
2 or 3 times, I think.
Okay, so you made it and you lose. It's like, well, that's okay, guys.
We made the Sweet 16 once back in the 80s before I even knew about it. But and then Norris Cole, 2-time NBA champ on the Miami Heat, he led us to this 2 games in.
He's the biggest name come out of Cleveland.
Well, let me ask this. All right, let me play a little devil's advocate here now. So when you were on St. Mary's with a lot of athletic Black players
and white players,
you never
can be both.
You never made the tournament, did you? Now, one might say you're coming off a little bitter man.
Oh, no, I'm not bitter at all.
Bitterman.
I graduated. You can do the math. I graduated in 1996, right, with a degree in sports management. In 1997,
so you didn't make the tourney in 96 or 95.
We didn't make the tourney in 96. We AJ got hurt 6 games in, so we lost him for the season. Jamoki hit the wall at Christmas. We had ridden him so hard that he didn't have anything left in the tank. Big Continent, Brad Millard hadn't fully developed yet. So
what about Reggie Steele? What did he have bringing to the table?
Reggie Steele was doing the best he can, but Reggie Steele was playing for a bullshit ass coach. Ernie Kent. I said it. Say it to his face. Played for a bullshit ass coach. We had a lot of talent on that team, but he didn't know how to manage it. But whatever. My junior year, we did well. Senior year was the worst season I've ever had as an athlete.
That's gotta be bad to go out on the senior year.
You don't even know. Good thing I played in Europe, because if I not, that would have been, at least I played in the program, and that was fun. But yeah, the worst season that I've ever had record wise was my senior year at St. Mary's. Now let me ask
you, is that the same for like Mahershala and all the guys?
Well, hold up. The next year they came back, and next year in 97 they won the WCC. And then they went to the tournament. They went to the tournament and they played Wake Forest in the first round, who had Tim Duncan, player of the year.
Oh, and lost to that.
And lost.
So did you know anybody? So you had teammates who were in that game?
Yeah, I know all those guys. Those guys.
Anyone I know? None of your friends though? They were all graduated by then?
No, AJ was still on that team.
Did he play?
AJ redshirted our senior year. So he got a 5th year and he played on that team. So AJ was on that team. Josh Unruh was on that team. Cameron Sufi, Yvonne Dodick, Eric Schrader, Eric Knapp, Brad Millard, Frank Knight. There was only 2. And the killing part, what's funny, is that there's only 2 brothers. The previous year on the basketball team, me, Mahershala, Mockley, Jamoki, AJ, and Ali Peak. But Ali and Mockley, they were honorary at this point. But it was me, Mahershala, AJ, and Moki. Right, the 4 of us. That next year, after we left, AJ and Frank Knight. Right. Oh, and Frank Knight was there too. My senior year, Frank Knight was there. So it was 5 of us.
So St. Mary's now, or St. Mary's in 97. Both times they made the tournament when they had less Black players. So you're saying that's the better route for that college?
No, what I'm saying is that if they want to go further, right? If they want to go further, look, Gonzaga. Let's just go ahead. We go here.
Oh yeah, come on, in white, Timmy.
No, hold up, don't get it twisted. Gonzaga used to look like the undriven snow, right? Snow-capped mountains, and that was with the previous coach. When Mark Few took over, and they really started to win, then they started to diversify their teams. Their teams became really diversified. They have a lot of players that went to the league. Now you look at Gonzaga's team. Gonzaga's team is a nice balance of Black and white players. I'm not saying that it has to be an all Black team. That's not even the case, right?
Because they don't make the tournament, right?
Shit. Arguably, they probably win the whole thing.
Well, what's funny? It was FDU was playing Purdue, and FDU mainly seemed to be a Black college and very athletic. These guys can ball, dude, and and you're a number 1 Purdue. It doesn't matter if you got 5 guys who can ball.
Yeah.
And if the shots are dropping and the drives are going, like there's
Dude,
a
that's all I'm
shot that
saying.
they came up, man. And it was really cool to see. And I was rooting for them last night against Florida Atlantic or whatever, but
Yeah.
they
They
fell
fumbled in
off at the
this.
very end there.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like I mean, look, I'm just saying get ballers, bro. That's all I'm saying is get ballers. I'm not saying these kids aren't ballers. They're playing well enough that they're nationally ranked and they're in the tournament as a 5 seed. That's huge. A
Yeah,
5
it's
seed?
always tough as a smaller school to draw bigger talent like that.
That's
though.
not true though. And I say that because you got Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference. Gonzaga has been to the national championship game twice now. They've been to the Elite Eight. They've been to the Final Four. So they are proving that in this conference that you can compete on that level. So, and if you're St. Mary's and you're the number one, competition or competitor against them, then everybody can't go to Gonzaga. Right. So why not go to the second best team in the conference, compete against the team that's going to the tournament and deep into the tournament, right?
Right.
And then be seen in that way and then elevate the team to another level.
Hey,
what I'm saying is that St. Mary's is not going to be like yesterday against Connecticut, the athleticism, the sheer athleticism and the size and the strength of some of these players, it was the difference.
Right.
It was the difference.
Did you ever beat Gonzaga?
Nope. I never beat Gonzaga. I beat Santa Clara.
Oh yeah, that was Steve Kerr was on the team.
No,
Steve
Nash.
Steve Nash. And Nash, was he on the team when you beat him or no?
Yes.
No. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Was he playing that day or was he in a wheelchair?
Yeah, of course he was playing. Of course. Steve Nash was good, man. But what I'm saying is I'm not mad at St. Mary's. I'm happy for them. I'm very proud of the team for doing well. I don't blame the players at all, right? It's just that I feel like I'm just saying behind the scenes, a lot of former players there's been the critique that the team lacks diversity. We would like to see more diversity. Just, and it ain't got to be about athleticism, but just more diversity on the team. That's it. And being able to compete on a high level. That's it. And they're competing fairly well, but they get to a point where it's like they meet their matches, right? Where it's like, the athleticism, they can't compete with the athleticism. Yeah,
that's in a lot of all smaller schools. Like even FDU, they're the shortest school in the country, they were saying. The shortest. I'm 6'3". That's the highest. That's the average height on the team.
Wow. Okay.
That's crazy. And like the one guy is like 5'8", 5'7", and the tallest guy is 6'4". It's not that much.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, them making it to the tournament and making it to the second round next year, recruiting wise.
Yeah, that helps.
That helps because the coach goes out. He goes, if you saw what we did this year, we're building the program. They get more money. Now the facilities get better, right? All of a sudden, you got more money to recruit. You can go different places. Yeah. And now you're competing in your conference and you get better players. And now you win your conference. You get to the tournament again. Like, it's just, and then the players.
Hey, who Cleveland State, one of their most famous possible alums, but he didn't get to be, I don't think he got into college because he didn't pass the, I don't know, some testing. Something to get into college. He couldn't pass the test, but it was Manu Bull.
Oh, really?
And Manu Bull, before I forget what other college he ended up going to, but he almost went to Cleveland State, and then he failed the test or whatever, the admission test, and then he couldn't get in. But that'd have been crazy.
NBA. And then he went to the NBA.
Went to NBA. Yeah, and that was kid. It's crazy. Manu Bull's been dead for a while. He's got his kid in the league, or in the
Bo. Is that his son?
Bull. Yeah. Is he in is he in the league? Is he in NBA?
Yeah, he is. He was with Denver and then he got traded. He's been traded a couple times now. I mean, but the kid can go a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's it, man. So I know for the people who aren't the sports fans, like your mom, for example.
She's not gonna be happy about this. Orlando Magic. That's who he's on.
That's who he's with now. Yeah. Okay. So we have a guest today, Sal.
No, I don't think so. I think I don't. Is she? No, dude. There's no one in the waiting room. I think we got stood up.
No way. Did you text her?
Yeah, no response.
Okay. Well,
a mother of two though. Maybe she's busy. Maybe a kid blew out a diaper.
Well, you said she has two in diapers.
Yeah, Esther Steinberg, comedian I worked with in Sacramento, has a 2.5-year-old and a 9-month-old.
Holy smokes.
So
They were not bullshitting. They were serious. They were like, yo, we trying to
yeah.
get these babies out quick. I'm gonna tell you right now, I wouldn't having a kid, there's no way I want to have 2 in diapers.
So
No way.
you're against having a second, right? You were telling me the stats of the life happiness drops tremendously after one if you have a second. Is that
Well,
what you told me? Some kind of scientific experiment?
well, no, it wasn't so much about I mean, look, quality of life
That's what it is.
diminishes. Yeah, when you got 2 in diapers, it's hard. But it's harder I think it's harder for the kids because the 2-year-old, the amount of attention that a 2-year-old needs, right, to be fully cared for, right, to get the attention that they need to develop properly, it can't be interrupted by, or it shouldn't be interrupted by a new baby who needs all the attention all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like an infant, they have to be catered to. But developmentally for a 2-year-old, the amount of time that they need, it gets interrupted if a new baby shows up. I was just saying that, and this is what I've just seen from people I've met too, is that if you can wait till they get to 4, by the time they get to 4, 3.5 to 4, they're probably going to daycare. They're establishing little friends. They can play with each other, like play with other kids instead of in proximity. So all of a sudden they don't need as much attention, right? They get their attachment. They feel connected. They've had their time to bond, and it's not interrupted. It's just a better existence. That's
Well,
why
you know what happens to that other kid. Yeah.
Well, it almost gets
He
killed by
becomes
the
a stand-up
2-year-old.
comedian.
Well, no, the first kid becomes a stand-up comedian because he didn't get his attention. I mean, his connection got interrupted. That's why when the
Well,
baby shows up,
that's my sister was born 1.5 years after me.
okay.
So yeah, man.
Oh, there you go. So your
and my
time got
brother
cut.
was the older one. So yeah,
He
middle
had his time.
child syndrome.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I see it all the time. Like the 2-year-old, right, who needs attention all the time. Then the baby shows up. By 2.5, every time the parents aren't looking, the 2.5-year-old's like this. He's beating the shit out of that baby, right? He's pushing it.
Fuck you, baby. This was supposed to be my life.
Exactly. How dare you show up and take my parents' attention and love from me, right? Just
now
saying.
I got to tell jokes to strangers, motherfucker.
Exactly. Now I got to seek the love of people that I don't know. You know how fucked up that is? I got to find people who don't know me to love me, right? Dude.
Fuck you, baby.
Exactly. And then the parents run in like, don't do that. Oh, my precious baby. Oh, 2-year-old sitting over
funny,
there.
Dude.
Fuck that baby. Right. So,
oh man. All right, Reg. Well, what are we gonna do here? You got to audible for another 20 minutes.
I was gonna do a whole thing of I was gonna tease you about the fact that one of the few times that you organize a guest. It's like, hey, Reg, I got this one, right? We got a guest this week.
Yo, man.
Make sure you don't have any bullshit holiday you got to work.
So there's always a holiday.
There's always a holiday, so you can be present for the guests that I booked. And now I'm like, so where are they, Sal? What?
Yo, Reg, I got 3 words for you.
Has anyone seen them?
I got 3 words for you, Reg. Roy Wood Jr.
Roy never stood us up though.
I don't see him. Any of y'all see him?
Roy did not stand us up. Roy said, let's reschedule. So, and he was down. I got the screenshots. I got receipts. Okay. I could show where he was like, yo, I'm all in. Let's do it this time. Oh man, you know what? Actually be better this time. I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, he's a busy dude, man. He's preparing for the correspondence dinner.
No, I hear you, dude. People busy, man. People busy.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm only giving you a hard time. It's all good. It happens.
So what do we do? See, Trump might get arrested tomorrow. That's the word on the street.
Well, it's the word that he put out there. Did you see that he put out there? They're gonna arrest me on Tuesday.
Go protest.
Take back
some
our
of his
country.
Protesters who organized the Capitol riots were like, this one guy, they're like, yeah, I'm not going to New York. And that's his guy's gonna go to jail.
Exactly. I hope they're protesters, right? Look, first off, let me just say this. I usually don't wish bad on anyone, but this guy, he can get as much bad as he can. I'll be happy for him to get as much bad as he can take, right? I hope that they come in and they arrest this dude, because they said they have two choices. He cannot be arrested publicly if he turns himself in, right? He can choose to turn himself in, then it's not a big hoopla, right? It's not a big deal. No one sees him. He doesn't do the prep walk, walking from his little mansion with his hands handcuffed behind him, right? Although I think everyone would love to see this dude do the prep walk.
I mean,
right?
two things. One, I don't know if his arms would be able to bend behind his McDonald's eating ass, and he's got them tiny little hands. It might squeeze right out of
might
those
slip
handcuffs.
They're like, this is the tightest they go. They're like, "Boink," right? But I hope if he does have to do the prep walk and they're protesters, I hope it's like 11, right? Like 7
See, that's
people
the
with
thing,
signs.
man.
They're like,
I'm gonna tell you,
oh,
in the
no.
90s, all right, before the social media, the fucking, and I remember this in Cleveland, the Klan, the KKK wanted to go do a little protest in Cleveland, Ohio, downtown, and we had a black mayor, Mayor Mike White. And Black Mayor Mike White said, I know, funny name, Mike
A
White
black
is
mayor
black.
named Mike White. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I wish
Mayor
his first name would have been Whitey.
Yeah,
we had a
yeah.
black mayor named Whitey White.
Whitey Mike.
Whitey Mike. Yeah.
Whitey Mike, Mighty White. So anyway, Mike White was like, yeah, it's their freedom of speech. Go out and protest. And so these redneck idiot Klan supporting morons would go protest. And there'd be like, 15 of them. And then there'd be like 300
Anti-protesters.
people protesting the Klan. And I'm like, that's what it was. These guys were a goddamn joke. And then what happened is the internet let them connect with other jokes all across America. And then that's why they have to come from all over just to gather for the little stupid, racist insurrections or whatever the fuck. But it sucks that these guys get any attention at all.
Yeah. You know what? I don't even care really. I'm like, they exist. Every time they come out, we get to see what they look like. I think everyone should go to every like white supremacy, KKK, whatever, pep rally and protest or whatever they want to do, and just go out with cameras and just take pictures of like, all right, gotcha. Okay, you hate people of color, you do too. All right, cool. These are the people to stay away from. Right. And then they have to move further and further and further out, right?
Right.
Let them go out into the woods, into the sticks. They can sit out there in their little cabins with no running water and outhouses and be mad at everybody who's got some pigment in their skin, and they can sit there and fuss and fight about how they're taking our world and we can't do whatever. Yeah, that's fine. Talk all that shit in your little cabin in the woods to your other little cabin in the woods people, and sit there until you're all rot. Right? Yeah. Like, just leave society. Leave the metropolitan society world to us, and then you can go out in the woods and bang.
Go to Alaska. Send them to Alaska. There's so much
Alaska's
land.
Beautiful, man. I want them to go to Alaska.
Well, there's a big space. There's got to be a crappy part you send them to. Send them to where that kid in the wild died. They could all hang out in that bus.
No, man. I think they should go to. No disrespect to Montana, but they got some nice wooded areas in the mountains of Montana. They can go live and chop down trees and build their cabins and just be happy living amongst themselves, being racist and complaining about what's happening in the world, and nobody can hear them or see them. They can stay out there and live their whole lives and die out there for all I care.
I mean, it is hard to convince. Like, I mean, it's hard to convince the Trumpers. I was telling my mom, I was like, "Did you hear? Your buddy Donald's going to get arrested on Tuesday."
Oh, your mom's a Donald Trumper?
Oh, big time, big time. And so then her first response is, "What about Biden? What about when he kissed those girls?" And I'm like, "What the fuck?" So like, it's always like, all right, well, first off, there's nothing he was found guilty of. And he's not the one who got in trouble for paying off women he had sex with, actual sex with these women, and then pay him off to shut up. And that's why he's in this jam. And then what about his son, Hunter? There's nothing there either. But that's what they do. They're like, fill him up with what's bad about the other side. And then like, oh, wow, this is what's happening to us. We're actually arrested. He's been found guilty. This is going to happen. This indictment. Oh, no. What about this? I remember hearing this. It's ridiculous. It's just filled noise.
Right. What's funny to me is I love how no one really takes into account that everyone that he's surrounded by has been arrested, right? Either they've been arrested
His
or
charity got
they've
shut down for fucking thieving.
his what?
His charity when they
Oh,
shut
his
down his
charity.
charity,
Yeah,
after they were
it's
thieving Trump.
it's like, yo, man, everything in close proximity to this dude goes to shit, right? It's either they get arrested or they write a book talking about how awful he is, or he has to give him a pardon. He has to pardon. He had to pardon everybody because they're like, look, man, they coming at me hard, and if I go down, you go down. Pardon. You're forgiven for your sins. I'm like, who is he, the Pope? Right? Like this dude is, he's passing out pardons like they're blessings, forgiveness. Hey man, look, yeah, I don't know what it is. I can't explain why white people love this dude. I don't know what it's something in white people that see like a kind of tall white guy who has a lot of confidence, and they go,
And money.
and money. Hey, that's it, right? Oh, this guy's tall, he's got the money. Oh, he's white. He's perfect. It's like, ugh. It's like, what about
If only I was born with $1 million.
Oh my
With a
goodness.
silver spoon.
Yeah.
So all right. So I got something we could close out on because we were talking about it. And what's so funny is the Chris Rock selective outrage special. And when he's still talking about the Capitol riots, he goes, what kind of white Planet of the Apes shit is this? Oh,
That's
that shit
funny.
was funny. And I want to say, man, watching that, because I'll say at the beginning, it was a little slow, I felt, because but he was setting up. He was setting up
Yeah.
themes and ideas. But man, once he like hit the Capitol riots and started going, like I was all in. And then like, the unemployed women, unemployed men, and then his daughter and the whole thing. And then finally, of course, the Will Smith. And yeah, man, it's classic Rock, dude. Rock is back. Rock is great. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was really good. I watched it a few times. I agree. I thought it started off a little slow, but he's building momentum. I did some research. I went back and looked at Bigger and Blacker, and because I felt like there were some similar themes, or at least like delivery, timing. Because if you watch his sets over the years, they've kind of changed in certain ways. Like his joke structure is what it is, his delivery is what it is, but at different times he's sold jokes differently, right? Like he even went back to I want to say in this one he even threw out Cracker or Whitey. Like,
yeah, I don't even remember.
Yeah, he threw out one of those which goes way back, right? Because remember, Chris Rock used to be crack ass, cracker, like that type of delivery, like what you gonna do, huh? Right? So he kind of went back to a little bit of that. Like I felt like he went back to the lab.
Right, I
like,
see what you're saying. Like, and almost like quicker punches.
Yes, quicker punches.
What you doing, toss the salads, woman?
Yeah, exactly. Like no, right? So I think he's kind of looked at some things over the years, and he went through some stuff, and he was like, "Yo, I need to go back to the lab and figure out how I want to deliver this." And it was like I feel like it was like a locomotive, right? Getting up to speed. It started out slow. He's going somewhere, right? And then he finally got up to speed, and then he really got going.
I don't like, and I told Reggie this. I didn't. Live is unnecessary, and I get that you're trying to boost it up, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But he does flub his closer, and it's like, okay, fine. If you want to do it live, it was live, that happened, blah blah blah. But then recut it. Let's cut that.
Hold
Get
up,
that
though.
right out. You know
Hold
what
up,
I
though.
mean?
When I watched it the third time, I want to say they fixed it in post, bro. Because I
It's
was
not
waiting
there
for
anymore.
Yes, I was waiting for the flub, the emancipation and concussion. I was waiting for it, and it didn't come. Or maybe
Good.
Yeah, so
Just
I think they fixed it in post.
That's part of it. Yeah, but like if you're gonna have something set forever now online, you'd want it to be, kind of perfect. Like if you're gonna do an album or stuff, they edit, they cut the best, reactions, funnies,
Right.
this and that. But I mean, I'll be honest, most of the time I didn't even realize it was live. He was just killing it, man. You're like, he was killing it.
Yeah, he was killing it. This is the thing though, and I think I said this to you. At this point, almost on any given platform, damn near, you can go and watch 100 different specials, 100 different comedy specials, right? If you're Chris Rock and you're going to release your special on one of these platforms, if you don't do something different that stands out, something that sets it apart, then it just gets shuffled in with the rest of the other bullshit out there, right? But if you're Chris Rock and you are arguably one of the greatest of all time, then you have to do something that sets you apart, something that sets your special apart from, Shucky Ducky from, Ha Ha Chuckle Hut
Ooh,
in
Shucky Duckies.
Idaho.
I don't think Rock is compete with that kind of. I mean,
No,
they
he's
would have
not
been
competing.
special anyway because of the slap. But I
No,
see
of
what you
course.
probably got a few million more if you made it live.
Right.
So then
That's
they
what I'm
can
saying.
all
It's like,
come in at that time and watch it.
right. But the point being is that like everyone is just releasing a special and there's no fanfare around it, right? It just kind of pops up a name. So it's like, oh, Rock Special came out and there's no fanfare around it. It's just like, okay,
Like our
we're excited about his
podcast.
name. I love our podcast, by the way.
Hey, me too.
All right. So yeah, I appreciate it. But Rock he has proven in the past that he's willing to do whatever he needs to do to set it apart. I mean, look, this one he released live. That's never happened before in this regard. So that's one. Remember, he did Kill the Messenger, where he he did the same set in different parts of the world.
Yeah, I
and
didn't
then
like that.
it together. Yeah, I didn't care for that either. But he's not above trying to do something to set himself apart.
Yeah, and Reggie and I always love, like, I feel like Bring the Pain has been one of my favorite specials ever that really kind of inspired me a lot in comedy. And yeah, and then Bigger and Blacker is like the same level. And those two, man. And then I mean, and I didn't even Never Scared was cool. He's going after W at the time. And then I kind of lost it after that. Yeah, then Kill the Messenger. And yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, I saw Bigger and Blacker first. I didn't see Bring the Pain. So I saw Bigger and Blacker and I was blown away. I was like, oh my goodness. I saw that live at the Paramount in Oakland.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, yo, this is crazy. I was like, yo, I'm a huge Chris Rock fan for life now. And then he released Bring the Pain, and I saw Bring the Pain on DVD. And once I saw Bring the Pain, I go, oh my goodness. You know what Bring the Pain was for me? It was the same thing as when I listened to Biggie. When I first started listening to Biggie, I only heard the singles, right? I didn't get the first album, Ready to Die, right? I just heard all the singles from it, and then when the second album came out, Life After Death, I got that and I go, oh my goodness, this is bananas. I love this dude. And then I went back to Ready to Die and I was like, oh, I look Ready to Die arguably is one of my favorite albums of all time. I can listen to that album on repeat, beginning to end. I can watch Bring the Pain on repeat, beginning to end.
It's pretty good.
It's
pretty good, man.
It's great. It stands up the test of time. It's just
don't do crack, do smack.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who hate black people? You know who hate black people more than white people? Black people, right? Because we hate black people. We hate niggas too. Every time you're trying to have something, niggas gotta fuck it up, right? Dude, said black people, oh man. He said you got
and
black people,
he's like,
and you got niggas. And the niggas have got to go. Dude, as a quote unquote educated, well-rounded, articulate, eloquent speaking black dude who enjoys like having a nice peaceful meal and living in a quiet area and having things be clean and taken care of. When he said that shit, I was like, finally, somebody has said what I've felt my entire life. There's just a part of you that feels it's the same thing with white people and poor white trash, right? Like,
yeah, totally, bro.
Yeah, totally. Trailer park shit where you're like, man, can we really just like represent ourselves well? Like, can we all kind of do a thing? It's like, nope.
And it's crazy. I can't even call my family members white trash on Facebook without getting blocked. I'm like, what is that? How the hell are they gonna know I'm addressing them?
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, I guess I would never call. I guess that's where we differ. I would never call my family members on Facebook niggas. I'd be like, man, these niggas in Alabama is on some bullshit. Now, if I said that, it wouldn't necessarily be my family members. It might just be in general.
So wait a minute. If you had a cousin,
yeah, I would call him my. You'd
have to have done something. Yeah, I don't know. Like, all right, what if you had a cousin acting like Kanye? Because I had a cousin, compares Black Lives Matter to the Klan. So what if you had a cousin who was like, Kanye, like slavery, that seemed like a choice. You
Yeah.
wouldn't call him out hardcore on
I
Facebook?
mean, I would call him ignorant. I would just call him
All right. Well,
uneducated
that's a
ignorant.
different way, but with a name call.
Yeah, but you know what though? And let's just be honest, and I don't want to conflate these two or compare these two. White trash, white trash, white trash, and niggas.
Well, it's a little different.
It's a
Hey, you're
little
the one who
different.
made the comparison.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
the
It's
small
just
one.
it's not the same. I don't want to make I don't want
That
anybody
ain't the
to
same.
be like, yeah, I don't want anybody to be like, man, we can't say the WT word. Like, no, believe me, no one's biting their tongue when it comes to like saying the WT
That's
word
my
in public,
point. Like,
right?
why can't you say, it's not
Yeah.
that bad, Facebook,
Yeah,
is all I'm saying.
white trash has not reached initial level yet, right? Like niggas,
That's like,
niggas is the N word, right? It's like, oh shit, you can't say the N word. I get it, but WT, it ain't there. It ain't white
well,
trash.
that's
Ain't
like
there yet.
on our TikTok when people are like, say Whitey. I get called Whitey. Like, that's on the same level. I'm like, I've never heard that in my life.
Yeah, who's calling
I got
somebody
white
whitey?
boy. I got white boy, but not
Yeah, you get.
Whitey.
Yeah, what's up, white boy? Like, all right, what's up,
Yeah.
black boy? Who you
I
calling the
remember one
black?
time
Who you
I was
calling
in
white?
so I worked with a lot of these guys in the ballpark in downtown Cleveland, and the one dude lived in the projects. And Cleveland projects, man, it opened my eyes when you go there, because literally when they say people are on top of each other, and yeah, his hallway was like this, and there's that one, and there's one right there, and it was like boom, and the
Mhm.
whole the complex and the people walking around is very small. And I remember walking in this one. Is older, I don't know, probably older than us at the time, but middle-aged black woman was getting in her car, and she looked over and she goes, shit, a white boy?
She's like, that's some new shit.
Yeah, it was
And
it
look,
was, but yeah, you see, more people just got to see from others' perspectives in life.
yeah. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you live in a project and there's a white dude in the projects, you automatically assume he's up to something nefarious, right? You're like,
Right,
yo,
yeah,
oh yeah. It's like he's delivering cocaine or guns, right? Like, or he's coming over because there's some prostitution ring. Like, there's something happening. If it's a white dude, or he's an undercover cop. He's an undercover cop. Like, what
It
the
was
hell you
fun.
doing
I
in the
remember
projects?
my buddy Daniel, he's the guy who lived there. He's this skinny black kid. And I remember he came into work one day, and he was, I don't know, she's like, I didn't have his chain anymore. Like, what happened? He's like, I got strong armed on the walk over. I'm like, strong armed? He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
man. He's like, a bunch of dudes just show up around me like, give me your shit.
You
And it's like
know
he's
what?
walking to work. He's just trying to do his
Dude,
thing.
that
He's a kid in the
sucks.
projects, and these guys just taking his shit. I was like,
That
wow, man, that's
sucks.
different, man.
That's different. You know what's funny about that too, though? What sucks about that? You got one kid walking with a chain, and you got 4 or 5 guys stealing one
Yeah, what are they
chain,
gonna do with
right?
that?
So what are you gonna do with that chain? You're like, yo, man, I get to wear the chain on Monday. Nah, man, Monday's my
Yeah.
day. So now they get into a fight over one
Yeah,
chain.
or they pawn it and they each get what, $2 in
They get
quarters?
$2
Like,
a
what
piece.
the
It's
fuck,
such a waste. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
such a waste. Look, man, I did not go to the projects. I had friends that live in the projects. There were a couple times that I was always on the
I mean, I didn't go there
outskirts.
regularly. It was literally like a couple times, but yeah, it was
Yeah,
definitely eye-opening.
yeah, I wasn't trying to be in the projects. Like, yeah, I mean, like I said, there was a couple times I dropped somebody off on the outskirts. Like, I remember one of my best friends growing up. He lived in the projects. He lived in a pretty intense, like a serious, well-known projects. And I remember dropping him off, and I was like, "Yo, you want me to drive you to your house?" He was like, "Nah, that's cool, man. Just drop me off right here at the gate." Straight up. And I was like, and I kind of looked in. I was like, all right, that's cool, because you get to a point where it's like you enter the projects, and it's not like a neighborhood in a sense
Like a
where it's like,
compound.
yeah, right, like it's not, yeah, like a compound, like there's no, it's not like you're like driving through the streets and there's neighborhood, like it's
No,
literally like you kind of go in and you can walk on paths, and then it's
right,
like road houses and road, so
right.
it's almost like one way in, one way out, but then there's tons of buildings,
Yeah.
and you walk, it's like, yo, you could easily get, it's, yeah,
Strong
so
armed.
strong arm. So when he said, yeah, you can just drop me off right here, I was like, Okay.
You know, everybody's one time we were after work, we were gonna go to some party or something, and the guy wanted to go pick up some marijuana in the hood, and I go, so well, he goes, yeah, we'll get some marijuana before we get some weed before we go to the party. I'm like, okay. I'm like, so where's this weed? We could go over a friend's house, you know, like a little hippie's house, like we do in the burbs.
Yeah.
He's like, no, man, it's up here on the corner. I'm like, oh, okay. Would you like me to drop you off there at the corner there? He goes, no, you don't drop me off. He's just like, or he's like, you don't stop. He's like, you drop me off and you just keep driving. Just drive around the block and then come get me again. I was like, the hell? And
Oh,
so
boy.
and so we're going. I'm like, look, and I'm like, I've never done this before. So what do I do? And I had like Nirvana blasting. He goes, first thing you do is got to lower this bullshit. He's on my music. And then he unrolls the window. I'm just driving down the main street and he just rolls out the window and hangs his whole body out. He sees some guys on the corner. He goes, woo! And he yells at some guy just gives a hand signal. And then boom, jumps, gets out. I drive around the block. I make an extra block just because I want to go, don't want to come back to any drama. Come in, he's ready, jumps in the car, we're off. But yeah,
this
man.
was just to get weed?
Yeah, and like you got to come with your money. Whatever you have is what you're bringing to spend. Don't bring any extra shit. I'm like, okay,
No.
I'm leaving my wallet here. I'm getting a 10 sack. Here's a $10 bill. Boom. That was, you know, like that's it. Because you don't know what you're walking into. It's crazy. But yeah, I just remember driving and he just rolls out the window and yell, what? Yeah, I'm scared, paranoid.
Hey, dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, that sounds like some movie shit to me. And I ain't never did that. I ain't never, ever did no shit like that. It's like I gotta drop a dude off so he can go get a thing and come back and pick him up. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it either, right? You know, there's a point where some people look at you and they go, oh, as a black dude, oh man, you ain't never been a part of a hand-to-hand. You ain't never had to drop your boy off to get some stuff. Like, no, my friends and I weren't smoking weed in high school. We were too busy trying to shoot baskets, get scholarships to college, right? We were trying to live the dream. Goddamn, we weren't trying to live up to the stereotype. So, yeah, man, that's some new shit, Sal. That's some new shit.
It was some good. It's funny you say it because I did write a script back in college and I wrote that scene in there because there was a real thing about, and I love the idea of bringing the burbs and the hood together. And like, it's so like divided. It's like
absolutely.
oil and water in Cleveland. And at least when I was growing up, probably still is. And so like, see whenever, and then when I would go there and I had friends come to the suburbs, and I remember I probably told you this story, but I had like two black friends and we were picking up a keg and they walk in the bar and they'll tell me it felt like Eddie Murphy in 48 hours or something. They're like, no, and they're like, we'll go wait outside. And I was like, okay. And even though they were outside, they still got bothered. And somebody came up to them and was like, hey, two black guys, how much it costs to kill my wife? You know, just trying to be funny, but like quickly, like, yo, this is how I view your people. This is how I'm gonna let you know. And yeah, it was weird, man. It was very weird. But
that's so disrespectful, though. I mean, just even think about that. That right there. Hey, two black guys, how much it costs to kill my wife? It's this idea, and see this. I'm not going to even go hard on it. But there's a perception about black people that they were willing to do anything for a close to nothing, right? We're willing to do anything for close to nothing, and that you can talk to us or act around us in a certain way. So I've had people come around me and, you know, want to speak to me and be like, yo, what's up, man? I go, oh, not much, man. Just here waiting for whatever. Yeah, I know. Gosh, these guys take so fucking long. Such bullshit. And I go, hey, nah, it ain't gotta be all that, right? Because if I weren't black, would he be throwing out effing and bullshit?
Right.
Like there's a level of comfort of like, oh, you're black, so maybe you're just okay with this type of language. And I go, nah, man, that ain't my bag, bro. Because personally, if I get agitated and I start cursing, it's all bad. So I refrain from cursing because that's not how I'm trying to get down.
And it's just someone's, you know, the stereotyping you.
It's stereotyping me. It's like, yo, show me the same respect that you would show any other civilized white person, right? Right. So, real quick, this reminds me too. So last week we watched Jon Stewart, and you know there was a moment where, you know, he says to the guy, you know, and you guys don't give a flying about whatever, right?
Right.
And I kind of had a moment where I was like, oh man, you know, I don't know if he needed that, right?
Right.
In retrospect and talking about it, with some people, it's kind of like, it's like, well, maybe it wasn't such a bad thing, because honestly, he was passionate and he was expressing himself in a way that allowed him to really convey how he felt about it, right? And that form of expression could resonate with someone else who probably feels the same way, right? And they're like, oh, good, I'm glad somebody else is like speaking for me in a certain way, right? Like, has the same way, has the same passion that I have. And so with that perspective, I'm like, okay, personally, I don't necessarily need that. Like, I thought that he did a great job of expressing his passion. I thought he did a great job of expressing it eloquently and with a ton of knowledge and intelligence. And so it felt like when he went there, it took it down a notch for me. But I realized that for someone else, that same notch that's lowered for me is risen for someone else, right? Right? So, for example, you, Sal, for you're like, yeah,
About time!
About time someone has said it the way that I feel. Right?
Exactly,
So,
dude. Exactly.
So you're entitled to that. I don't want to.
All right, well, wrap us up, Reg. Good job today.
All right, thank you too. You too, man. And I'm sorry that your guest flaked on us.
Yeah.
But you know
I
what,
was
though?
due.
Hey, dude, it's all good. It's spitballing, right? This is what we do. We take what's given and we take lemons and we turn them into lemonade, right?
Yeah,
So,
no.
all right. Well, hopefully, I don't know, maybe you talk to
Hopefully
him.
we'll have
Maybe some
Roy
other
Wood
time.
on next week.
I can reach out to him and see what his availability is like.
Hey, you know what you gotta get to is what's his name? The basketball player.
Festus.
Festus. I almost said Serge
Festus Ezeli.
Ibaka.
You know who I would love to get to? I would
Festus
love to get
Ezeli.
Festus. And man, I mean, this one might be hard because they're in season. But if I can get my boy Phil Handy, who's the assistant coach
Or
with the
maybe
Lakers,
the off season, because
off season. If I can
well,
get Phil,
who knows? That might be coming up sooner than later for the
yeah,
Lakers.
I know. And maybe my boy Lloyd Pierce, who's the assistant coach with the Indiana Pacers. I think Lloyd is a.
Oh yeah, you showed me his gold medal, right?
Yeah, I got to hold it.
We saw the gold medal on here.
Real.
Yeah, that's right. We talked about that.
I would love to get Lloyd too. Lloyd, he has a great story, and he's a real solid dude, man. I love Lloyd. He's an awesome guy. Yeah, I got there's some people on, whatever. We'll see.
All right, wrap it up, Reginald.
All right. Okay. Hey folks, I hope you enjoyed spitballing. Today's episode went a little different than we expected, but hey, we roll with the punches and keep it going. We love doing it. We're gonna keep doing it. Hope you're enjoying it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, that's Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele, and this is Spitballin'. Peace.